What's going on, beautiful divine beings of light and love? My name is Dan. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're doing the internal work. I hope you're loving yourself. Today in this teaching, we're going to dive into what in Christian circles has been called the triple strand cord. The prayer, when you give, when you pray, when you fast. In the first video here, we're going to dive into the quantum teachings of Jesus of when you give. So we're starting in Matthew 6. Beware of practicing your righteousness before men to be noticed by them. Otherwise, you have no reward with your Father who is in heaven. So what does that mean? Why is he saying that? Make sure that beware of practicing your righteousness before men to be noticed by them. Otherwise, you will have no reward with your Father in heaven. Okay, so this sounds like our Father in heaven, the white guy with the long beard on the throne up there. If we try to do good things in other people's eyes, then he's going to turn his back on us. But that's not the reality of what he's pre-framing these teachings about. He's pre-framing it with a quantum principle that Father God isn't just some being made in the image of man, but it is a multidimensional source energy, a multidimensional intelligent love that exists on every plane of reality and in whom all things consist. The very quantum field itself and beyond. Okay? So Jesus, they couldn't understand that back then. So Jesus just says, my Father. And Father means where I came from, what I came out of. We all came out of the Father, the intelligent love of the quantum field. We were all manifested out of source energy. Okay? That's why when God spoke, he released a frequency. What's a word? He released a word, a frequency that came and it created all that is. All that is. And he did it with love. And that's who we are. We are emanations, fractals of the one source of divine love. So he says, when you give to the poor, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be honored by men. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the poor, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving will be done in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you in public. I love that. What's done in secret will be rewarded in public. Why is that? What is Jesus saying here? What is he teaching here? He's talking about giving to the poor. He's saying don't be like the hypocrites who go onto the street corner with their trumpet blasts and they're like, look at us, we're giving and we're doing all of this before men. They're doing it because they want other people to see them and other people to be like, wow, like didn't they just do something good? Like look at how great they are. But the truth is inside their heart, what are they expressing? If their goal is to be seen by man, if their goal is to be seen by other egos, other people, and get kudos from those other egos, then they've received their reward in full. There's going to be no reflection back from the quantum field that is giving you anything good. Why is that? Because in your heart, you're thinking selfishly. I want them to see me. I want them to think that I'm great, right? So what are you emanating from your heart if you're emanating, I want them to think that I'm great? You're emanating lack. You're lacking identity. You're lacking worthiness. You're lacking who you are as divine, secure, confident, and loved. And so you need to do something externally and you're saying, I'm not enough. So I need to get somebody else to look at me to validate that I'm enough. You get that? So when you are giving and you're giving and telling everybody about it, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself, and that is a selfish act, and you're actually not sending out any good vibrations into the quantum field because we know that what you put out, you get back, the mirroring effect. And so what you're actually putting out is I'm lack, I'm unworthy, I need others to validate me. And so you've received your reward in full because you're getting the reward that you wanted from other people looking back at you, but you're not getting the full support of the divine. You're not getting the full support and the manifestation of synchronicity from the quantum field. You're not getting the unusual blessings that are going to come into your life because you're not in alignment with the higher frequencies of those higher blessings. You're in alignment with the low-level frequencies of lack, unworthiness, I'm not good enough, and so I need to do something for other people to validate that I'm good enough. Okay? And so moving on to verse 3 here, it says, so that's having your reward in full. It means that there's nothing going to come back from the quantum field. Nothing great or amazing or wondrous is going to manifest for you because you have already decided that I want to have the kudos from other people, the blessings from other people, and that's enough for me. But we don't understand that. And so it's really an identity issue that we're talking about here. So verse 3, but when you give to the poor, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So your left hand know what your right hand. So in the last video, we talked about the body and we talked about neurochemistry. The left hand or the left hemisphere of the brain is symbolic of rationalism, the intellectual mind, thinking about things in a very linear way. Whereas the right hand or the right side of the brain is the Christ mind. It is the creative expression. It is the limitless possibilities. Okay? So the left mind is kind of like the ego, the small sense of self, and the right mind is the limitless abundance of all that is, that you are. And so it's saying, but when you give to the poor, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. What does that mean? It says, so that your giving will be done in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Okay, so it's a picture. It's saying when you're giving and you're going to go and bless someone, don't do it with an intellectual, how is this going to work out for me? I hope I get this back. You know, because there's so many teachings about when you give, God's going to bless you back, right? And that's a true principle. If you're in the right hand side of the mind, if you're in the limitless, abundant, creative expression and you're open and not attached to the outcome of how it's going to come back to you, of is this going to work out? So if you're giving and you're like, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay rent this month and I don't know if I can get this and, you know, I feel like I'm in obligation to give, and you're in the left side of your mind trying to rationalize it out if you can make it work or not, don't give. Don't give, because you are actually releasing to the quantum field all of that confusion, all of that, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if this is actually what I'm meant to be doing. Whatever the story is, am I going to get this back? How is this going to come back to me? God, you owe me. You know, God, are you going to bless me? And so that is what you're putting out there. And so that isn't going to work. If you give it from the rational egoic side of your brain, hoping you're going to receive something, you're giving out of selfish ambition once again. And you've received your reward in full. But if you give out of the right side of the brain, if you give out of the Christ side, if you give out of the reality that you are already abundant, that you are already secure, that everything you have is because the divine has already blessed you with it, and you understand that fully and deeply, then you're not giving out of a sense of lack. Then you're giving out of a sense of abundance, that you're giving out of your limitless side. And so there's a big difference, because if you're giving out of an abundant heart, you're releasing abundant frequency, and you're moving with your action behind it, giving, proving that you're abundant. The quantum field is receiving that frequency of abundance, seeing the action that you're doing, which is going to create an even stronger vibration back to you, which is going to create an even stronger manifestation of prosperity back to you. It's exciting. It's really exciting. It's really, really good news. And so it comes down to the heart condition. Are we giving rationally? Are we giving because we want other people to see us? Or are we giving because we already are one with the divine nature? Are we giving because that's who we are, an expression of true light and love? And then it says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, so that your giving will be in secret. And what your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Once again, this is not the sky god going, man, he's doing it in secret, I'm going to bless him. Not that at all. It is the fact that your rational mind, it is the fact that your inadequacy within yourself of needing to be seen by people and reflecting that to the quantum field isn't where you're living from anymore. It's the reality of you know that you are one with the divine, that you know that you're one with abundance, that you are abundance, that you are divine. Say that with me. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am divine. I am secure. I am confident. I have everything that I need. Okay? When we come into alignment with these truths and you give from that place, you give from empowerment, empowerment's coming back to you. When you give from confidence, confidence is coming back to you. When you give from abundance, abundance is coming back to you. And you don't need to let other people know that you're doing it because they're going to see it once you have it already in your own heart. Because this reality is mirroring back to you that which is already in your own heart. And so it's an inside job, friends. It's an inside job. So before we give, make sure we get our hearts right, or else we're going to be robbed of our blessing. You're not going to be judged by God. You're just going to be judged by your own thoughts. You're going to be judged by your own worries. That's why Job said, all of my fears came upon me, because that's what he was releasing to the quantum field, and all of everything in his life came upon him and resisted that egoic state of who he was not. So, exciting times. You are abundant, you are divine, you are amazing. If you like this video about the quantum teachings of Jesus, then like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody that you think would be able to help them. Because see, this is the first step towards abundance. This is the first step towards manifestation, is realizing in our own heart that we are abundance, that we are manifestation, that we are divine, that we are the flow, the conduit of heaven to earth, that we have everything pertaining to life and godliness, that we are not some separate lowly sinner, that we are not broken, that we are not inadequate, because you cannot give your way. You can't buy your way out of inadequacy. You can't buy your way and be like, look, I'm going to put this, give this big check to this homeless shelter and then put it on the news and put it all over Facebook and do all of this stuff. There may be a time and a place for that sometimes, but if it's your intention from your heart condition, that everyone else is going to love me, everyone else is going to see what a good thing that I'm doing, you're actually projecting lack, and that lack will come upon you. So once again, friends, you are divine. You are co-creating your reality, and I love you. Like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.